So you might have seen this crypto token called UGOR blowing up online recently. And the story behind it? It's a huge one. A token that's supposedly backed by oil. But is any of that actually real? Let's dig in and see what's really going on. I mean, that's the big promise, right? The idea that you could invest in the entire global oil market with just a single crypto token. It's an incredibly powerful pitch. It sounds a little too good to be true, doesn't it? Well, that's the question we're here to answer. And we're not talking small numbers here. The narrative they're pushing is connected to a $1.4 trillion market. When you throw a number that huge around, it makes something sound legit, right? It sounds important, maybe even safe. But that's the story they're telling. Now let's look at the actual facts. Okay, so first things first, let's unpack all the hype. Before we get into the nitty-gritty on-chain stuff, we really need to understand the story that's got everyone's attention and figure out why it's catching on like wildfire. So check this out. One of the top trending searches right now is UGOR stock. And what's fascinating is the language people are using. Here's the catch though, and it's a big one. UGOR isn't a stock at all. And that confusion, it seems to be a key reason why this thing is spreading so quickly. And this slide just lays it all out perfectly. You've got UGOR, the crypto token on Solana, and then you have UGRO, a totally different thing. That's a real publicly traded company. The two have absolutely nothing to do with each other. But you can see how that similar name could easily trick someone just searching for energy stocks, right? It almost feels intentional. Okay, so if it's not a stock, then what the heck is it? Well, it's what we call a meme coin, and that is a super important difference. A meme coin's value, as you can see here, is all about the story, the social media hype, the community speculation. It has nothing to do with having a real legal claim on a physical thing, like, say, barrels of oil. All right, so we've covered the hype. Now let's move on to the on-chain reality. This is where we leave the marketing stories behind and look at the cold, hard data on the blockchain. And, the blockchain doesn't lie. This is where you find out what's really going on with a project. Yeah, this table really just cuts through all the noise, doesn't it? If you look at what makes a real asset-backed product trustworthy, things like legal claims, public audits, a way to actually redeem the asset, UGOR is just empty. There is zero verifiable proof out there that a single drop of oil is backing this token. And now look at this number, about $269,000. That's how much money is actually in the on-chain liquidity pool. Now, for something that's supposed to have this multi-million-dollar valuation, that is alarmingly low. It's a massive red flag. All it would take is one big seller to completely tank the price, and then good luck trying to get your money out. And it gets riskier. Almost 40% of all the UGOR tokens are sitting in just 10 wallets. 10! We're talking about a huge concentration of power. Think about it. If just one of those big holders, we call them whales, decides to cash out, they could completely flood the market and crash the price for everyone else. This is just pure chaos, seriously. Depending on which platform or which contract address you're looking at, the price for UGOR can be off by as much as 100 times. 100! This is happening because there are a bunch of fake copycat tokens out there using the same name. A real asset just doesn't behave like this. It's a side of a completely broken and fragmented market. Okay, so that on-chain data is pretty damning, to say the least. Now let's talk about the red flags and the real stories. It's time to connect these abstract numbers to what actually happens to people who get caught up in the hype. I mean, when you just start listing them out, the picture gets really clear really fast. The team? Totally anonymous. So who do you hold accountable? Those rumors of a BlackRock partnership? Yeah, totally false. The token doesn't actually do anything besides get treated back and forth. We're not talking about minor issues here. This is a whole stack of giant red flags. And this is what happens when those red flags become reality. This quote from a Reddit user, man, it just makes it all painfully real. They put $500 in, couldn't get it out when they tried to sell, and then just had to watch it all go to zero. And sadly, this kind of story is all too common when the hype dies down and there's no money left in the pool. So what's really wild is that this whole UGOR situation, it's not unique, not at all. It's actually following a pretty standard playbook that we see over and over again in the crypto space, especially with these kinds of hype-driven tokens. And here's that playbook, laid out step by step. Step 1, find a big trending story in the real world, something like an oil price shock. Step 2, Launch a token with a name that sounds like it's connected, something like United Global Oil Reserve. Then you start seeding the buzz on social media, X, Telegram, wherever. You ride that wave of search traffic from people who are curious but confused. And the final step, the early holders sell everything to the newcomers who got lured in by the hype. It's a formula, and it works. So we've looked at the hype, we've looked at the data, we've even seen the playbook they're using. And after all that, it really all boils down to one simple but really powerful question you have to ask yourself. And this is the question. When you stumble upon a token like this, one with a fantastic story but absolutely zero proof to back it up, you have to stop and ask yourself, am I early or am I the exit liquidity? In other words, are you getting in on the ground floor, or are you just the person that the people on the ground floor are waiting to sell to? Honestly, figuring that out is everything.